Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Ta-da! Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I'm your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. And I noticed that I had a couple of mistakes already. I spelled May wrong. I had put M-A-U instead of M-A-Y, but it is indeed Sunday, May the 4th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. My friends, I am so happy to be with you. You can probably tell my voice is a little bit run down. As you know, last week was a very busy week for me. You know, I don't like to say or claim or complain that I'm busy, but last week was definitely, I got ran down a little bit. My good friend Gerald on Thursday night, as part of the stream, he watched it later, and you know how on Thursday night I was getting ready for this big youth event that I was going to have on Saturday, and then I just come off those two back-to-back big Archbishop events, and then some other work, and then I mentioned that I emotionally, spiritually, mentally felt fine, but I was physically getting worn down. And then Gerald, a good friend of the show, Gerald, who watched the show later, did write me directly and said, "Hey, Clay, you do look tired. Make sure you make time and space for yourself." So I appreciate that. Not trying to be the hero. Felt good. All weekend, we had a wonderful youth rally. Excellent, but long day. So I've been going on about 4 hours sleep a night this week. So hopefully it slows down a little bit this week. So you can hear my voice. I feel fine. I know I look fine, but my voice might not sound fine. But bear with me as I appreciate all of you guys. So Swervin Irvin, you're amazing. I will get to your gift in a second. So let's get started. So once again, welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary. Although I'm representing the Winnipeg Jets tonight, we will certainly talk about that. We will update the confidence pool. I have some interesting results to show you. Then I'm going to talk to you guys about how we did on our first round predictions. Not so great. And then we'll do some new second round predictions. So let me check one thing. I want to put a poll out real quick. And I'm going to say most memorable first round series. So I'm going to put, and don't just go by tonight unless you think it is. Was it the Blues Jets? Was it the Avs Stars? Because those are the two that went to Game 7. I think Oilers Kings was pretty memorable. And then I'm trying to think of what Florida Tampa. No, Florida smoked them. Washington, Montreal versus Toronto, Ottawa. Vegas, Minnesota, not really. And then Winnipeg Blues. Yeah, I have all three. I should put one Eastern Conference in, right? Okay, let's go Leafs Sens. All right, friends, vote in the poll. Yeah, I feel fine. My voice sounds horrible, Selena, but I do feel fine. And as I've said a couple times, I do look fine. So, moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's Legends, Hall of Fame, franchise members, thank you for your support. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether you're in my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, lower mainland, province, country, continent, around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or read all three. But the fact that you are here with me, know how much I always appreciate you, and I never, ever take you for granted. So, this is how you can get involved today. You can subscribe to the channel, get active in the chat section, get notified of my videos. You can like the video, like the fact that we are together, like the fact that we are powering through, like the fact that we had an amazing couple of Game 7s and we are moving on to the second round, and like the fact that we continue to build a wonderful community here on YouTube. You can leave a donation. You can gift a membership like Swervin Irvin has done, and I'll get to that in a second. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your own membership. You can use your monthly membership message like Carol has just done. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. So let's get to that right away. Swervin' Irvin gets us going with gifting five memberships. So Hall of Fame member Swervin' Irvin, $25 donation. Let's give him some love in the chat. So Swervin' Irvin gifts memberships to They've Slayed the Dragon, Pastor Dan, Justin, Marvin, and Moofs. I hope I didn't swear there. So welcome to all five of you. And once again, thank you, Swervin' Irvin, for the generosity. Also, let's give Irvin some love in the chat. Then we have Carol using her monthly membership message. Carol back to legendary status. Legendary Carol Bovenlander says, Clay, thank you for putting on the stream even though you're not feeling well. You are such a trooper. Great example for everyone. God bless you. Well, it might not be a great example for people who say that you got to take care of yourself. I actually feel fine. Again, I know I look fine, but my voice doesn't sound fine. But I'll be okay. As long as you can listen to it for the next 45 minutes to an hour, I'm happy to talk. So once again, Carol, welcome back to legendary status. I'm glad we are making it work by hook or by crook. I'm always happy to have you as a legend. Let's give legendary Carol Bovenlander some love in the chat. And Skytrain Alfred, I didn't even know that your membership expired, but he's back, and he's back in a big way. So let's give some love to Skytrain Alfred for buying himself back his franchise membership. Nice to have you back, Alfred. And yes, as many of you have pointed out, it's like the game within the stream. We are 3/5 towards our high five now, because a high five consists of someone leaving a donation, someone gifting a membership, someone buying their own membership, someone upgrading their own membership, someone using your monthly membership message. Carol used your monthly membership message. Skytrain Alfred bought his own membership, and Swervin' Irvin gifted membership. So technically, one of the easy ones, not the easiest. I think the monthly membership message is the easiest. But if someone leaves a donation, that gives us 4/5. But then the tricky one is the upgrade, because someone's got to jump from franchise to Hall of Fame, or from Hall of Fame to legend. So I'll leave that there. But yes, we are 3/5 our way to the high five. All right, so let me reiterate very quickly, and then we'll get into stuff that matters. Tuesday night, emceed an event. That's why I did the stream. I did double duty on Monday, Canucks After Dark, and then me. Tuesday night, I didn't stream. Then Wednesday, also helped produce an event. So back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday was a little rundown. So I didn't do a show Wednesday night. Then Thursday, I did do a show. I had a actually restful night Thursday, but I was getting ready for what was a crazy 18-hour days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday and Saturday, which I was happy about. We had a wonderful youth rally for Catholic young people out in Surrey. No, sorry. We were out in Poco all week. By the way, a cool story. I was staying in Langley, because we didn't stay in Poco. We stayed in Langley, 20 minutes away. And I got off the elevator, and the guy said, Clay? I said, yeah. He goes, I watch your shows. I said, thank you. So this was a guy. His name is Wade. So shout out to Wade from Kelowna, who was in Langley to do some work. And we ran into each other off of the elevator. So shout out to Wade if you're watching tonight. Really appreciate you. And then, yeah, did the big youth rally yesterday. Did a lot of cleanup today. Drove some people to the airport. So back to normal work days starting tomorrow. And hopefully my voice will come back. So hopefully you can put up with me for sure. We got a couple donations to recognize even before I get into my content. Swervin' Irvin says, driving home from hockey right now. Can't hear you. Is that because my voice is so bad? Or is that because you just don't put it on in the car? Regardless, Swervin' Irvin, thank you for the donation. That means, firstly, we should give him some love. Secondly, we are 4/5 to a high five. All we need is for someone to upgrade their membership. I know it's the hardest one, franchise to Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame to legend. and then it triggers the high five, a giveaway that I will do later this week. So thank you, Servant Irvin, for your donation. A lot of people like to actually watch me on mute, if that makes sense. And then we have Skytrain Alfred also with the donation, ensuring we are still 4/5 our way to a high five. The draft lottery is indeed tomorrow before the first game of Toronto, Florida. We are 15 out of 16, like 0.5% odds. And even if we win the draft lottery, as Skytrain Alfred mentioned, we can only move up 10 spots. So can we move up to 5th? I doubt it. That's a 0.5% chance of happening. And we've never even won the lottery when we were 5th, 6th, or 7th best chance. So I do not think that we will win the lottery tomorrow. The odds are very, very slim, but you never know. But let's give some love to Skytrain Alfred in the chat for another donation. You must miss me because you guys have been very, very generous tonight already. A good question. And then how does one extract value from the legendary membership in the off season? That is a fair question, especially when people are paying $80. So I've always said this thank you for my compliments on my parking one day at the school there. Firstly, who am I talking to and what school and how did I comment to you? That's awesome though. So I've always said that if someone's a legend for a whole year, and Line Change, you want to hear this because I still owe you that email. I do have time to write it now this week. I'd say the value, I don't know if I can ever give $1,000 a year in value. So the people that are legends, I think they, A, they have the means, thankfully, and B, they kind of get that they get some perks and some really good perks, but how do you value it? And I think it's more of just wanting to support me in that way. So yeah, as a legend, you do get all the franchise, all the member stuff, all the discounts, and the big thing for legend is you get 3 games. You get basically 4 tickets, 2 pairs of tickets, and then a 3rd game with me. Maybe that's the price. That's worth the value alone. And then those are the big things. So then when it's off season, it's really admitting that there's not a lot going on. So maybe extended phone calls or we hang out or whatever. But admittedly, there's more value extracted during the season. I hope that makes sense. Wait, but if you can't hear me, Servant, if you can't hear me, then why did I just spend 2 minutes answering that? I'm so confused. Can you actually hear me or not? Anyways, draft lottery is indeed tomorrow. Let's talk about what happened over the last 2 nights, you guys. And I'm looking at the poll, and I want to quickly recap the first round. Then we'll go into, I'll give you an update on the confidence poll, and then we'll do some second round predictions, and then we'll get into your Q&A. Line change. See, Line Change is so good. He hasn't even heard from me yet. And he still says the value is just legendary. Thank you, Line Change. I will get to you. I promise. Oh, Jeevan, tomorrow is your birthday? Well, happy birthday. And then I know it was Adrian T's birthday over the weekend. I'm not sure if he's in the chat tonight. So happy early birthday to you, Jeevan. Happy late birthday to Adrian. And we got Harry coming in. Awesome, Harry. Let's give Harry some love. Hall of Fame member Harry Ma, $10 donation. Let's give him some love. How are you? Insane game for the Winnipeg Jets. Huge comeback, second OT. Adam Lowry for the win. I was so nervous when it was tied. I'll be going to Winnipeg soon in August. Oh, well, that's too late to see a game though. I thought you and Gerald were going over. Actually, I want to come with you guys now. So let's chat. Although I can't, it might have to be 3rd round if they make it that far. Harry, thank you for the donation. Let's give Harry some love in the chat. And I hope you notice, Harry, that I'm wearing this. It's okay, guys, that I'm wearing this, right? Even though it's called Clay's Canucks Commentary. They're not playing right now. The Canucks aren't. I actually only have one Winnipeg Jets t-shirt. Aside from Canucks stuff, I only have one Jets shirt and one Seattle Kraken shirt. I don't have anything else from any other team. So thank you, Harry. Very, very kind of you. You could say that every playoff series had its own storyline. And let's just start in the West, Pacific Division. LA goes up 2-0. We think this is the game. This is the series finally, after 3 straight defeats, that they're going to vanquish the Oilers. And then boom, the Oilers remembered how to play hockey. Calvin Pickard leads them to 4 straight wins. So that was pretty cool. I think the storyline there was obviously the reverse sweep and the chance that LA once again loses for a 4th straight year to Edmonton. Vegas versus Minnesota. I don't know if there was much of a storyline there, obviously. Like Boldy had a good, Kaprizov, they had a good series for the losers, but Vegas too strong, too deep. And they didn't really score a lot of goals during the series. So I know that because I have a lot of Vegas Golden Knights players in my pools. So hopefully they pick it up a little bit from a pool standpoint. But no surprise that Vegas takes the Minnesota Wild. Then, of course, the 2 Central Division series, amazing. Back-to-back Game 7s. Obviously, the Mikko Rantanen story is the biggest story. Colorado to Carolina, and then back to Dallas. And what can you say? 4 points in the 3rd period. They score with a few minutes left. They come back from a 2-1 deficit, and they actually beat the Colorado Avalanche 4-2 in Game 7. Is Bednar's job in jeopardy? I'm not sure. Colorado, for as good as they are, and they won the Cup a couple of years ago, for as good as they are, they could be a lot better still. So that was exciting, amazing. I didn't get to watch it, but I was following it when I was at my youth rally yesterday, when I was in the middle of losing my voice. And then today, wow, second overtime. I watched the first 2 goals scored by St. Louis. I was like, Then I fell asleep. I crashed, right? I was tired today. So I crashed. And then I woke up in the 3rd period only to see the 2 late goals. That game time goal with 2 seconds left. So many crazy things happened in that play. You guys might remember just about 30 seconds before that, Ehlers was not able to keep the puck in at the blue line, but then he demanded it back, gets it in. Fans on the shot, whoever, I can't remember the forward that get back to him. He passes it across. Like, to have the poise and the discipline to make that pass with 5 seconds left, instead of shooting it on net, which I'm sure 99% of the players in the league would have done, instead of shooting it on net, he has the wherewithal to get it across to Kyle Connor, who then doesn't shoot it but puts it on close to the net. I don't know if it's a shot or if it's a pass. I don't know. I didn't know what he said. And Perfetti puts it in, like I said, with 1.5 seconds left. And it was good for Kyle Connor because Connor was kind of the GOAT on both of the first St. Louis goals. He had poor coverage on the first goal. A lot of people had poor coverage on the first goal. And then on the second goal, he was the one who gave out the puck in the middle of the ice. And then, but he assisted on Perfetti's first power play goal, and then he assisted on the game tying goal, and then he assisted on the overtime goal. Now, what's really interesting is on the overtime goal, it was Pionk. The Winnipeg Jets were dominating the second overtime. And then I know a lot of people, I watched the replay. I just want to see how the puck went in. I know it went off of, I think it was Braden Schenner, went off of St. Louis Blues player's knee or stick. And then it got deflected a second time, but I could not for the life of me see Lowry make contact with his stick. And a lot of people on Twitter was like, put some respect on Pionk's name. It was Neil Pionk's goal, not Lowry. But if you guys listen to the interview with Scott Oak at the bench right after the game, he made reference to the fact that it probably went off of his butt or his hip or his leg. And that makes sense because I did see the puck change direction twice, beating Binnington, but I didn't see Lowry's stick make contact with the puck. So it would make sense then that it went off of his butt or his hip or his leg. Anyone else in the chat, let me know if you know for sure. Know for sure if you saw where, because I'm almost certain it didn't go off his stick. But I'm almost certain, I'm certain he said something to Scott Oak about it going off his body. And the way he celebrated, he knew that he was, that he scored because he went down and he did the down on one knee and the fist bump, right? And you wouldn't do that just to take credit for an overtime goal. Like Lowry's such a good captain. He's very, very unselfish. So I don't think he would have taken away a goal from someone. But yeah, let me know what it hit. I'm almost certain it hit his butt or his hip. And am I hallucinating, or did you guys hear him say to Scott Oak after the game that it went off of his body? Let me know in the chat because I want to see that for sure. Yeah, a lot of other storylines. Of course, it was Binnington versus Hellebuck. Rematch of the Four Nations, whereas reverse, of course, where Binnington and Canada won. Today, Binnington and St. Louis loss. Yeah, Carol said, I'm pretty sure it went off his butt. I'm with you. I'm with you. No distinct twerking motion. I love it, Erwin. I don't want to picture Adam Lowry twerking, but thank you. And yeah, so the storyline of Binnington versus Hellebuck, the storyline of Josh Morrissey only playing 2 minutes, and the Jets having to play with only 5 defensemen and going to double OT. Yes, it results in Pionk going for 45 minutes. Tyler says butt or back. There we go. So very, very good. So that was exciting. So we covered the 4 Western Conference series. It was 4 straight for Edmonton over LA. Nothing exciting. Minnesota versus Vegas. Then it was 2 Game 7s. Dallas, Colorado. Then Winnipeg, St. Louis. Over on the East, I think the storyline for Toronto, Ottawa for me was that Toronto was able to close out a series. They might have got a little bit antsy when Ottawa won Game 5, but Toronto ends up winning Game 6, so no Game 7 there. And then the other one in that division, the storyline to me was I was surprised how easily Florida beat Tampa, to be honest with you. And I think it was the Game 3 it was Game 4 where Tampa squandered a lead at the end of the game. So instead of going 2-2 back to Tampa, it was 3-1, and they're in trouble. Then in the other conference, Washington, Minnesota, a lot of bite in that series, despite not a lot of history between those two teams, including Anderson and Wilson going at it on the bench. I think that was pretty memorable. And then for the Carolina and New Jersey, the only thing memorable was Jacob Markstrom slashing Cody Glass his teammate across the wrist. Otherwise, Carolina, unsurprisingly, take out the New Jersey Devils. All right. So a couple of things I want to do with you guys now before we get to the mid-show sponsor read. Firstly, I want to share the pool. So if you're in the pool, if you are in my confidence pool, there's 47 people not over. I got confused because right here it says game over. So there's 47 people in it. Follow Game Over Vancouver. So I usually won't give away people's names, but I know Mark won't mind me giving away his name because he's the Game Over host that watches my show. So I've updated the standings, you guys, and what you'll see is the 8 teams that won in my confidence pool. I only do this for 2 or 3 minutes, but for those of you that are in the pool, I think you guys will find this interesting. So you get the points at the start for anyone who doesn't know, at the start of the pool, everyone had to give points 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, all the way down to 1. You had to assign a point value to each of the 16 teams in the playoffs. You only do it once, and you stick with those points for the rest of the pool. And then depending on who you think is going to win. So what was interesting, a perfect score in the first round is 100 points, right? Because let's say you allocated points based on who you thought was going to win the series. 16 plus 15 plus 14 plus 13 plus 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 equals 100 points. So the most you can get is 100 points. So no one actually got perfect. So there are 3 leaders. And Mark, his was interesting. And I want to point this out to you guys because he has 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So if he gave the Jets 9, right, 5 more points, he would actually have 100. He'd have a perfect score in the first round. But I don't know if Mark's in the chat. For some reason, he only gave the Jets 4, but it's not like he gave the Blues 9. He gave the Blues 3. So for some reason, he didn't give more than 8 points to a team from this series, the Jets or the Blues. You see what I'm saying? So even if he gave the Jets 9, the lowest of all the winners, he would have a perfect 100. So the only thing about Mark's entry is if the Jets continue to advance, he's only going to get 4 points every round. So he might fall. Then we have someone, I won't give away his or her name. We have someone saying whose team's name is Joy's Winnipeg Jets Champs. And they got 7 of the 8, right? 16, 15, 14, 13. So I did look. They gave the Avs 12. So they don't get the 12, but they have the Stars at 7, right? And which makes sense. You give one team more than 8 and the team they're playing against less than 8 points. And there's the 5 points that they give away to the Avs. So that's why they have 95. And then someone named Snoopy also did well. 16, 15, 14. I don't see 13, 12. So I don't see an 11. So they probably had Avalanche with 11, Stars with 6, and that's why they are only 5 points out. Then we have a friend of mine who's in fourth. So I'm tied for third place. That's me, obviously, GLCPC, because I have the Jets. But obviously, I had the Avs at. I must have had them at 12. Yes, because I see 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 10, 9. So I only got one wrong, but it was a big costly one because I only gave the Stars 5 points. So it's pretty cool. I will update this pool after every round, but you can see how it's pretty tight, but it will start to spread out as each round goes through. J as in your mom. What are you saying? No, my mom's Joyce. And no, that is not, this person, number 2, is not in any of, not a family member. My family member's like, so this is my other team. Horrible. I'm like 10th from the bottom. I did bad. Like, this one, I only got 5 of the 8 series right. You really have to go almost perfect, or at least go 7 for 8 to have a chance. Love Alfred, but Alfred's struggling. Love Alfred. He only got 2 of the series right. He got his 16 for Florida. He got his 14 for the Golden Knights. But like, look, he only gave the Jets 1. I guess, Alfred, do you not like Winnipeg? He only gave the Jets 1, and so on and so forth. So poor Alfred's at the bottom for now. He might make up some room, but I don't think. I did so bad. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And Trev is saying, pick with your head and not with your heart. That's how you win fantasy sports pools. That's good advice. That's good advice. All right. Thanks, everyone. So I will update that after every round. Speaking of predictions, I want to review with you guys what we went over a few weeks ago. So firstly, I said, what was your most memorable first round series? Blues Jets. There might be some recency bias there, but 56% of you saying that. Then it's a tie between Avs Stars and Oilers Kings, 20%, and then only 2% for Leafs Sens. I don't, compared to the Western Conference series, the Eastern Conference series, not as memorable, obviously. Thank you, Trev. Appreciate it. And I hope you had a good show tonight. I will catch up on it a little bit later. But Trev says everyone hit the like and subscribe. Not only does Trev do great content as well, he's also a very smart person. All right, friends. As a community, remember 2 weeks ago I did this chicken scratch? I don't know if you can see it. But we had 78% of this community picking the Jets. So we got that right, barely. We had 75% picking the Avs, so we got that wrong. We had 85% picking Vegas, so we got that right. And then we had 57% picking the Kings, so we got that wrong. So we only went 2 for 4 in the West. Then on the East, we had Ottawa beating Toronto, so we got that wrong by 53%. We had Florida beating Tampa, 56%. We got that right. Then we got Capitals over the Habs, but by 51%, the narrowest of margins. And then we had the Hurricanes beating the Devils, 81%. So we actually went 5 for 8 as a community. That's not great. That's not great. So really quickly, let's do 3 series. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Okay? So I'm going to give you 1 minute to do this because I'm going to update these brackets now. So this first question for everyone, because originally we had the Jets beating the Avs. Now it's Jets versus the Stars. And I have a feeling, well, actually, I won't bias it. Okay, friends, you have 1 minute to vote. Vote who's going to win between the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars. They're both coming off, almost not identical, but dramatic Game 7 victories, come from behind victories. And remember, we are doing this because we originally had the Jets against the Avs. And actually, I won't spoil anything. So we had the Jets against the Avs. What is our new guess, you guys? What is our new guess? Yeah, Tyler, you probably missed it, because I know you generally don't make it at 11, which is fine. I spent the first few minutes talking about, my voice is run down from all the events of this past week. Yeah, so you guys are welcome to put yeah, I like how you're predicting the number of games in the chat. But what I really want to know, as my timer is going to signal the end of the minute. What a weird sound. Yes. So we're going to end the poll. And no change. So we had the Jets over the Avs by 56%. And this community, oh, very close, has it in as 58%. Now, my friends, we have to do Vegas versus Edmonton, because our original one, we had Vegas versus the Kings. So here's the next one. Golden Knights versus Oilers. So once again, you have 1 minute to get your vote in, because we have to redo our bracket because we didn't do so well as a community. So you got a minute now, and type in the chat. Type in the chat what you think about how many games this one will be. Again, this is Vegas versus the Oilers now. We originally thought it was going to be Vegas versus the Kings. Vegas versus the Oilers. You got another 30 seconds to vote. Yeah, this one's going to be tricky. I think when Edmonton's on their game, they're pretty unstoppable. But Vegas is such a solid, deep team. Yeah, I'm seeing both in the chat in terms of what people are typing. But make sure you vote. That's how I'm doing it, you guys. Make sure you vote. You got 10 seconds to vote. Got 10 seconds to vote. We're going to end this poll. And you guys have Vegas over the Oilers. 53%. Wow, that was close. So by contrast, if it was Vegas versus the Kings, we originally said 68%. So still same winner. Swervin' Irvin is in Vegas the night of game 2. Oh, I wonder if you should go. Let's give Swervin' Irvin some love in the chat for the $3 donation. Thank you, Irvin. And remember, we are one upgrade away from hitting the high five tonight. Okay, we got Capitals versus Hurricanes. So that one, no change. We said Caps by 66%. I'm not going to let you change that vote. And then now we have to do Toronto versus Florida, because originally, for some reason, this community picked the Senators. Maple Leafs versus Panthers. All right, 1 minute for this one. This one could go either way. This one could go either way. I don't even know what a T-sipped is, or did I just swear? This one is going to be very interesting. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do... I think this would be interesting to see how we... Oh, this one's close too, you guys. You got 10 more seconds. Get your vote. Make sure your voice is heard. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For this one, you guys have the Panthers over Toronto by 57%. And, you know, just for the heck of it, I just want to see if anything has changed from what you saw in the first round. Let's do this real quick, just for the sake of completion. Let's go Capitals versus Hurricanes. You got a minute to vote. And I want to see if anything changes for this. Capitals versus the Hurricanes. So a reminder that we had Jets over the Avs 56%. Now we have Jets over the Stars 58%. We had Vegas over the Kings 68%. Now we have Vegas over the Oilers 53%. And we had Panthers over the Sens 82%. And now we have Panthers over Toronto 57%. Finally, we have Capitals versus the Hurricanes. You have 15 seconds to vote. 15 seconds. Make that 10. Very excited to see these results here. 3, 2, 1. And you guys have spoken, and you guys have the Capitals over the Hurricanes 62%, which is very similar to our pre-playoff vote of 66%. Okay, we have 3 more to do real quick. We might as well, because I just want to see how your guys have changed. So according to that, we have the Jets versus the Golden Knights in the Western Conference Final after round 2. This is now what we're thinking. So you have a minute now. Who's going to win the Western Conference Final between Winnipeg and Vegas? Now, this is admittedly the same matchup that we predicted before the playoffs started, and we gave one of these teams a 51% edge. So 51 to 49. 51 to 49. Yeah, 4 good teams left in the West. Well, no, the 4 good teams good. All 8 teams are good. What am I talking about? And some really good teams lost. Colorado, Tampa. Because Colorado and Tampa lost, by the way, and the Kings, those 3 teams, I'm dead in all my hockey polls. All right. 10 seconds. 10 seconds, you guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Interesting, you guys. We have the Jets 61%. Originally, we had Vegas over the Jets by 51%. Now it's swung to Jets over Vegas 61%. You guys must be really impressed by what you saw tonight. On the other side, no surprise, according to us, we have the Panthers versus the Caps. So what's really interesting, you guys, is our Final Four is the same. So vote Washington or Carolina. Our Final Four is the exact same as we predicted. Well, I guess not surprising, 2 weeks ago. It's the same 4 teams: Winnipeg, Vegas, Florida, and Washington. But let's see how this one changes. Let's see how this one changes. All right, you got 20 seconds. Ooh, this one's not looking very close. This one is not looking very close. But we'll see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we have Florida, we have the Panthers, 71%. And when we did this 2 weeks ago, we gave them 60%. So still quite dominant. So you guys obviously were impressed with the way they handled things, with the way they handled Tampa. So that means, according to us now, originally we had Vegas versus Florida. Now we have Winnipeg versus Florida. That is our new final. How fickle we are. You have 1 minute now. Who's going to win between Paul Maurice's former team and his current team? So we got Winnipeg versus Florida. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Are you voting with your head or your heart? Remember, Rev Trev suggested that you should always vote with your head, not your heart. Well, at least when you're doing pools, this fantasy pools. What do we got? What do we got? "30 seconds. Oh, this is close, you guys. This is close. Panthers in 2. How's that possible? Each game counts for 2. 15 seconds, you guys. Adrian, happy belated. I'm not sure if you heard me earlier greet you. Happy belated, Adrian. And we now have the Jets winning 60%. So as we had Vegas beating the Jets last time, now we have the Jets beating the Stars, Vegas beating the Oilers, Jets beating Vegas. On the other side, we have Florida beating Toronto, Washington beating Carolina, Florida beating Washington, and then we have Winnipeg beating Florida in the final. We will revisit that, my friends, in 2 weeks. Yeah, apparently the Jets were 1.5 seconds away from being eliminated. But yes, now they are indeed winning the cup. And as I go into my mid-show sponsory, the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a woo! I almost couldn't do that because of my bad voice. Let's go to my mid-show sponsor read, even though we're 45 minutes in. It's like my 2/3. Actually, I was actually planning to end my show by now. But no, that was a lot of fun. Let's go. Thanking my primary sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts Real Estate. At Van City Experts, their experience, knowledge, and expertise can serve you well in navigating through the real estate market and will help you to choose the best home or condo in the Greater Vancouver area that best suits your and your family's needs. Thank you to my secondary sponsor, Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. You can check him out at coachpatrickliu.com/clay. Receive a free 5-day workout when you do so. Thank you to Gasjet Art Maker, that fine artwork. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks on your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Thanks to everyone who's purchased Canuck Clay merch. You can do so at canuckclay.threadless.com. Appreciate you. Also, don't forget, these are ways that you can get involved in the show. Subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. We have donations. We have membership gifts. We have someone buy their own membership. We have monthly membership message. All we need is for someone to upgrade, franchise to Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame to Legend, and that will trigger the high five. Finally, shows this week, because I know you're just dying to know. Given my work week, given my rest, given content, this is what I'm going to do Tuesday and Thursday. So this is what I'm going to do as long as there's stuff to talk about Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then Friday in the middle of the summer, I'll go to Sunday, Wednesday, 2 shows a week. But for now, I'm going to go 3 shows a week, try and do Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. But as soon as I try and get some routine, it's going to be thrown off the very next week because I'll be in Quebec City with Kayla and Gil. But for this week, there's no Canucks After Dark tomorrow. So I'm going to take tomorrow night off. Yes, I know Florida's playing Toronto. And unless some of the Canucks win the draft lottery, but that still only gets them up to 5th. So my schedule is tonight, Tuesday, and Thursday, all at 11 p.m. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, friends, let's do 15 minutes of question and answer. Let's go. I know you guys that there are tons of comments, hundreds of comments, maybe dozens of comments earlier. But we're going to start from right now. Tyler says the Canucks will get 15 or 16. Well, the only way they'll get 16th is if the team below them actually wins the lottery and jumps ahead of them. So I think it'll be 15th, but I hear what you're saying. Basically, you're saying we probably won't win the lottery tomorrow. And that's fair. Line change. I'd upgrade if I could. What a guy. Already at the highest tier. And he says he could upgrade even more. All right, Edmund, sushi today. Usually a 50%. I would make a poll, but I don't want to waste time. Do you think I ate sushi today? Yes. Gail and I ate sushi for dinner. Canucks will get 6th place for the draft. Oh, so you mean... So for them to do that, the team below them will win the first lottery, and the Canucks will win the second lottery. Hilarious. I can't remember the last time we won a draft lottery. Who do you believe has the best chance at winning, the favorite to win the cup? I think it's going to be Florida or Dallas. As the first round went on, I said whoever wins Florida, Tampa, and whoever wins Dallas, Colorado, I thought that's the team that would win. Florida looks strong to repeat. Vegas might surprise coming out of the Pacific, but I just have a feeling, as much as I want Winnipeg to beat Dallas, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins, and I go Florida versus Dallas in the final. How would I feel if Calgary was one of the draws? I'd feel sick. I wouldn't like it. They're the team that has less odds than us, right? They're 16 and we're 15. Yeah, but they can only get up to 6, I guess. If all the Canadian teams win in the second round, there'll be 3 Canadian teams in the same. That's true. That is true. We could have a 3 and 4 chance. Well, yeah. If both Winnipeg and Edmonton win their next round, then we're guaranteed 1 Canadian team in the finals, at least one. What do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be Dallas, Vegas, Florida, and Carolina. Do you think Hellebuyck was solid tonight? Nope. He definitely wasn't good in the first 5 minutes, and then he did what he had to do. Third goal wasn't great, but it wasn't brutal. So yeah, the first 2 weren't great, but he was interesting. The Sportsnet panel, Friedman said he would have pulled him. The other 4 guys said they wouldn't have, or 3 guys. So glad. Yeah, you got to go with your number 1 in Game 7, right? I have no clue what you guys are talking about, but that's fine. I thought that I'd gone out from a legend. Gwinnett County, is it upgrade? Huh? Carol, type that again. I have no clue what you meant. But if you, I don't want to say too much, but if the amount you sent me, if that's what you plan to donate every month, then yes, then legend for sure. If that was meant to cover 4 months, then, but yeah, let's talk about that out of here and we'll figure it out. I have you down as a legend right now. Do I think the new coach will be hired before May 20? My gut feeling is no. Yeah, but these things happen pretty quickly. And Rutherford did say they're going to start interviewing next week. Okay, I changed my answer. Yes. I don't think we've ever won a lottery. People sleeping on Dallas, they'll be strong around 2. Canucks fans root for Jets and hate Leafs and Oilers. I think Oilers can be dangerous, and a Pickard heats up. Yep, they could be. I believe it's between 4 and 4:30. Cactus Club rolling out new sushi dish. Tuna tamaki. I like salmon more, but I'd try that. I hope CBJ gets a good pick. Hey, RSA. No, we did not win the draft when we got the Sedins, Calvin. There's some great YouTube videos on how that explain how Brian Burke basically traded up to get the first pick, but then he traded it to Atlanta, so to let them look good in front of their fans. But no, they didn't win the lottery. Huh? We won? No, I don't think we won. I'm pretty sure we didn't win the draft lottery that year. Unless they gave Atlanta first pick because they were an expansion. Actually, that's a good point. I don't know. I thought we went into that draft with the 3rd and 4th picks. And then we end up getting up to 1 and 2, but then we traded down to get 2 and 3. Someone correct me though. Harry born in Winnipeg. That's fair. Yes, it is very fair to say the Canucks have had terrible lottery luck. John, I would be happy if it was Gerard Gallant. And Peter Laviolette. Can never say it the first time. Laviolette might be interesting, but I'm not sure if he'd be the best guy for this market. Okay, I don't know your draft guy, so I trust you. Sounds like an ice cream. Gerald, you and Harry figure that out. Is Robertson back? Yeah, good question. Yeah, he's getting closer to returning than Robertson, right? Peter Laviolette, maybe one of the best coaches. Yeah, I like him. I sort of like him. He's kind of like a more Tortorella type, old school, but I don't know if he's high on the list, to be honest with you. Oilers was just would be epic. Florida, Dallas, Washington are the only teams left that I don't hate. In the Leafs Sens, I was cheering against the Sens. Didn't want Green to win a cup. Oh, good point about that. Winnipeg game was insane. Helly was awful. Good on them to win without Morrissey and Scheifele. Yep. We've never won the draft. I think Quads mentioned that it was one thing he would change in Canucks history. Oh, yeah. I haven't watched that yet. How did it go? Having him on TLC. I watched the first and third. I fell asleep for the second. I did not think they would pull it off, to be honest with you. But it was amazing. Yeah, I am a generational optimist, but I don't think the Canucks next few years looks good. Unless they somehow pull off some amazing moves either at the draft or in free agency, including trades. But I don't know. I think we're going to get worse before we're going to get better. And I don't like that. Comrie better than Hellebuyck? No way. Byrne wants a Canadian team to bring it home. Canucks are such a wildfire, and the season is 3 months away. If you go to the Jets playoff game, will you get a Jets jersey when you're there? Probably. Claude Julien, wouldn't that be crazy given his history against the Canucks? No thanks. May the fourth be with you, and no, I'm not a Star Wars fan. Oh, I'm a legend with that. Is that an upgrade for the high five? Technically, no, because I've been calling you a legend, Carol, for the past week. So I know it'd be nice, but I've bent the rules before, but that one is too far of a bend. I appreciate you being a legend, but it has to happen during the show. But thank you. Yeah, Harry, I've been to Winnipeg 4 or 5 times already, so I don't know what's new. You'd have to tell me what's good. Came about pretty quickly. Awesome. Crad says the Nucks have not won a draft lottery. Yes, Bert gave Atlanta the first pick. If we explore a trade to New Jersey, we will want Hischier or Bratt, but the Devils will probably only want to give Hamilton or Nemeth. Yes, I heard Jeff Merrick talking about that unless that's where you got it from. Jeff Merrick talking about that on Sakaris and Price. Yes, pretty funny, right, Taylor? No draft lottery win. Thank you, Shannon. Nucks haven't been gifted a bajillion number 1 picks like Edmonton. That is true. Hey, Jeff. Canucks had 3rd and 4th. Yes, that's what I remember too. Gerard Gallant would be great, but needs someone to get the team going and get along and listen to coach. CBJ has never won the lottery. Lafayette scores instead of hitting the post. I like that. I would also like Canucks able to score in Boston. Quads is very good. I remember meeting him before he got into Canucks Army. McKenna DuPont. I think in the Sydney draft, Tampa won the lottery, but through a series of trades. Yes, that is correct. Rick Dudley. Yes, that is correct. Canucks went from 2-3 to 1-2. So it went from 3-4 to 1-2, then down to 2-3. Jets, Oilers, Western Conference Finals, as long as Edmonton doesn't make the finals. Okay, that's fair. Winning Game 7 against Boston, yes. Would you trade our 25 first and Tom for Mason McTavish? Yes, I would actually. But only if I knew Mancini was going to be good for sure. Which player would you get on your Jets jersey if you had to pick? If I had to pick, I do like Kyle Connor. Out of the guys that are still there, yeah, I think Kyle Connor. I don't think the Canucks will make the playoffs for a bit because Tocchet not coming back and we will not have the lotto line. Yes. 2/3 of the lotto line might be gone. Playing Hodgson in Game 7. Best Canuck has done at lottery, and who was the pick? They've never won the lottery, and they never picked first. They picked second and third, and that's how we got the Sedins. Vertanen was 5. Juolevi was 6. Oh, other way around. Juolevi was 5. Vertanen was 6. Yeah, it's too bad. Acquiring Messier was another mistake. Trading Linden, all good ones, TLC. Canucks need more than one player in terms of drafting. Traded a fourth and a player to Tampa for first. Yes, that makes sense. If we made Messier the coach and won the cup, would you be okay with that? Of course, because it's a cup. Lowry seems pretty cool. The team has got a lot of work to do. Critical summer. I agree with you, Rome. Despise Messier. Does it mean we're second and third in the year? Yeah, in 1999, we were second and third in that draft year, but we started at 3 and 4. The Canucks also have to learn new things in different lines. I'm sorry for the Canucks, but no playoffs for a bit. You might be right, Shannon. Oh, of course. Trevor Linden was picked second in 1988 behind Mike Modano. That is correct. But then it was Brian Leach who won the Calder. We need him too. We need Peter to drive the line for sure. Tyler agrees. A rebuild might be what we need. 4th overall and 2 times thirds for first. Huh? And 2/3 for first. Oh, what we gave away? Yeah, Dallas has drafted very well. Nedved was second behind. Jagger went 5th in that. Who went number 1 in that one? There was Owen. I remember that one. There was Owen Nolan. There was Mike Ricci. There was Peter Nedved. There's Jaromir Jagr, and there's one other guy in the top 5. You guys are good. Do you think Canucks could consider Ehlers? Yes, I've always said that. Ehlers to replace Besser. Yes, Jagr went 5th. Pastor, yeah, no. We'll do another show, you guys, on draft mistakes. Not right now, though. And Jessica, I don't want to end on this one, but I will. I think it's going to take a while. We took a massive step back this season, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but let's not relitigate that now as I'm about ready to get off. All right, friends, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. We got to 4/5 of the high five. No shame in that because the upgrade is the trickiest one to get. So don't forget, my shows this week are Tuesday and Thursday. No Canucks After Dark. Tomorrow, thank you for keeping up with me, putting up with me and my scratchy voice. I'll drink some Neil Citron and go to bed. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Line Change, legendary Carol Bovenlander, legendary Andrew Chang. Thank you for your support. Thanks to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. On the way out, you can like the video, you can subscribe, you can leave a late donation. Thanks to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate and Coach Patrick Lou, Weight Loss Coach. And thanks to everyone who went above and beyond today. Swervin Irvin gifts 5 memberships. Carol uses a monthly membership message. Skytrain Alfred buys his franchise membership. Swervin Irvin donation. Skytrain Alfred donation. Harry Maw donation. Swervin Irvin another donation. You guys are all very, very generous, and I am very, very grateful. All right, friends. You're right. Keith Primo. He was the other one to nail the top, to be in the top 5. Thank you, Skytrain Alfred. And thank you, Sarah. I feel fine. I don't sound fine, but I do feel fine. But I appreciate the kind words. Okay, friends. As always, don't forget to rate the bad joke on the way out. And thanks for being here. I'll see you on Tuesday night for my next show. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. By the way, do you know why crabs never volunteer? Yes. Why don't crabs ever volunteer, it's because they're very shellfish. Very shellfish. God bless. And go Canucks go. Booyah.